Yep, fire away.
Adam, what do you sort of make of that performance? Probably your best away game for the year?
Oh, yeah, we didn't have a lot to choose from. I think Sydney, we held our own for a long period of the game, but no, I thought we played the right way today. As disappointing as it was that we didn't win, some of the things we're chasing, we're pretty competitive at with a different look. We haven't done a few things that we did today, so there's lots of changes that we tried, and maybe too many, but I don't know. I think we saw more about our list today than we have for a while, and some things worked really well and some things didn't, and the Bombers were just too good in the end. I think we couldn't get the ball off them at stages, and the uncontested marks was over 110 or something, so that's something we want to get better at. But we had 56 inside 50s, did well around the clearances and contested possession. We held our own, had the same amount of shots, so there's some stuff there that we'll take that we like.
Career day for Liam Ryan, obviously, but in the midfield helps that too, I suppose. But to throw him in there and for him to be able to last 4 quarters, you said during the week you weren't sure how he'd go.
Yeah.
If he could do it, he proved that he could. How do you sort of see that?
I haven't. I mean, obviously you notice him around the centre bounces in particular. I think he worked with Petrocelli and Brockman through the middle, and bit of speed on the ball, speed in the game, and he obviously his skill helps change angles as well. So it's just how long can he sustain it for? And I thought with the help of the others, that worked pretty well without having obviously Tim Kelly and Harley Reid and Dom Sheed sort of a bit light on with our mid. So exploring some different opportunities, probably, we saw some good positive returns.
Does it give you a long-term option using him in that role?
I think so. Yeah, I think hopefully we get Tim and Harley back this week. But there's something there, isn't there, that we all like. So that plus the 2 rucks, Oscar coming back from long stint out. We had a couple of run with roles, so it was just a lot going on that I thought for the most part we would have been pretty pleased with, and Liam was obviously part of that.
Jake Stringer got hold of you a couple of times during the game. I noticed you rotated a bit of Hoff on him and then as well Rotham in the second half. Hoff's done some big jobs. How come you didn't stick with him in the second half on Jake?
Yeah, well, he's more. His damage was done when he takes a centre and spits forward. So finding that you probably didn't look like he was on him, and then he was. There's certain times in the game where you don't go all the way with Jake, and he had a really good game in particular early. So yeah, he was. That was a matchup that we went with, and they did a few other things which I won't go into detail with that try and manipulate the game a little bit when you're tagging players. So yeah, obviously didn't work too well for us in the end.
How hard is it with a player like that though, that can play in the midfield and then push so hard half forward to try and transition that defender over?
Yeah, it happens all the time. Every team sort of does it. Everyone has a role that's the old dusty role, I suppose, where they impact around the source and get forward. So yeah, it's we do it as well. So it's pretty common. I think we held him pretty well last time we played, and he had a pretty good day today.
What was your direction to Ruben Gimby?
Jimby.
In relation to Merritt. And was it a hard tag, or were you just trying to?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I think I haven't got the numbers, but because we were a bit light on in the mids, and Ruben he's done a job for us before. Just to nullify the metres gained, really, and the impact he can have on the game in that space. I think he's always going to get the ball. He's their captain, so it was a pretty obvious one for us to do. I thought he did okay. I'm not sure what the numbers were and the difference, but he's probably still one of their better players. But I thought Ruben did a pretty consistent job on him.
What did you make of the 3 pronged, particularly Oscar in return?
Yeah, what did Aussie kick? 2 goals.
2-3.
2-3. 2-4. Yeah, so I thought they all had a look. Yeah, so it's not brand new. Those guys have played together before, but I suppose with Bailey as well, it's something we're going to have to look at it to see if it's going to work for us, and whether we continue to do it or not, we'll keep working through that. But it's good to see Aussie back, and if he has 5 shots every week, and what did Jake kick? 2 or 3? And Darling would have kicked a couple as well, so we'll take that combo, although I don't think we connected great in our front half. We haven't been working a lot on mid-forward connection, but if we get supply like that, that's something we can work on.
With Tim and Harley hopefully coming back next week, how do you look at that forward line structure with the talls? Do you consider maybe next week at Optus dropping one of them, considering you're going to have those guys pushing for selection?
All right, let's get through today. yeah, so we're exploring a few things at the moment, so it'll be a great problem to have if we get everyone available, and we'll have a look at it during the week and have a look at the Hawks and all that sort of stuff, so we'll worry about that later in the week.
Dom Sheed a chance as well?
I think so, yeah, I think he might have had his sign-off yesterday, so he'll be in the mix.
In your last presser, you spoke about learning, the players learning, especially with the tight finish. What have you sort of learned from the group this year in their improvement?
That's a good question. I mean, every game's different. So we were always chasing today. It wasn't like we were holding on. I thought last week against North, pretty poor for 3 quarters, and then the last quarter we just exploded. And then the game turned at the very, very end. Where this one, it felt like we just weren't quite in reach. And when we got within 9 points, they get a guy out of the middle. So we'll learn a little bit about that. Strategically, there's some things you do when you're trying to chase the win. We did. It probably cost us a couple of goals late. So I'm not too worried about that, but it's just good to be in these positions where we can review a last quarter and say, okay, what can we do better next time, rather than how do we just be competitive. So I know that's something I've been saying all year, but that's still, we can't take that next step until we're competitive like we were today every week.
Did you get through unscathed today?
I think so, yeah. We spoke about the sub a bit earlier because there was no real obvious options. The ruck stuff was going okay. Our backs are holding up okay. So while the game was on the line, we didn't see the need to sub anyone on, because I don't think anyone's injured.
You must feel that with Oscar back that you've got something really to work with. You've got Barassa in the game at one end, Oscar and Jake at the other. It's starting to cut.
Yeah. We're glass half full, and I know 3 wins is not great for our supporters and our members, but we're chasing the long game here, and some of our players been fully available. We haven't had for a while, so next week we should have really good availability. So really good issues to have at match committee, and we're still trying to be competitive in some of the basics of the game. So as much as it might not look we're developing too much, I think we are, and I think we're growing. It's just going to take a bit of time.
Mate, apologies if some, right?
Good mate.
Apologies if someone already asked this, but do you feel like the probably single biggest improvement from even earlier this year and certainly the last couple of years to now is just that greater sense of resilience at the moment?
We've been pretty resilient, but probably not on field. It's been a pretty difficult couple of years dealing with everything from form to injuries to COVID, all those type of things. So the guys have really focused in on field. So we've settled a lot of things around the club so we can concentrate on getting better on field. And I reckon the resilience piece, yeah, we've worked through a lot on that stuff, but I don't connect it to game day. I still don't think we're anywhere near where we need to be, but we're improving, and that's what we started the year out trying to achieve.
You happy with the senior players as a group?
I think they're holding up their own, aren't they? Yeah, and the questions were asked over the previous years, and they just haven't had a good run at it in terms of fitness. You know, honestly, I can't tell how many players who missed 10 weeks and we came straight back in, and just, can you hang on for us? And then their form, you know, is up and down, and the criticism comes, which that's fine. Where they've had just a better run at it this pre-season and this season, so they're still good players. So we're going to get our youth through as well.
What did you make of also the signing of Elliot Yeo for another 3 years on Friday? A bit of good news for the
he wasn't
club
going anywhere, Yoey. I could have told him that. Could have told you all that 5 weeks ago. And no, really happy for him. Well deserved. He's got a young family on the way, and he's an Eagle for life.
Harley had unfortunate timing with the suspension coming around the bye. He's missed 3 weeks in the end. How keen is he to get back?
He's pretty keen, yeah. He's pretty keen. I don't know how well he's handled not the rehab, but you do your match sim on Thursday, and he's in the other team, and he's got to pay his dues while he's not playing, and so I'm looking forward to getting him back, and I think he is too.
Did you sort of let him off the leash next week against Hawthorn and just say go and do what you've been doing?
Yeah, I don't think we'll put any more pressure on than you guys will, but he'll just go out and play. But like I've said, he wants to play to win and play with his mates, so we'll see him next week. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Adam.